Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and immediately command attention without saying a word, while others can talk for hours and still fade into the background? Today, I'm going to reveal a counterintuitive secret that will completely transform how people perceive and respect you. And it has nothing to do with being louder or more aggressive. But first, subscribe to our channel. Picture this scenario. You're in a meeting, a social gathering, or even just having a casual conversation. Most people are rushing to fill every second of silence, talking faster and faster, desperately trying to prove their worth through words. But what if I told you that the exact opposite approach is what separates truly influential people from everyone else? The mistake 90% of people make is believing that respect comes from talking more, explaining more, or being more animated. But here's what psychological research reveals about human behavior that will shock you. Our brains are hardwired to assign higher value to things that are scarce. When someone speaks constantly, their words lose impact. When someone pauses deliberately, every word carries weight. Think about the most powerful leaders you've encountered, whether in business, politics, or even in movies. They share one unmistakable trait: they control the rhythm of conversation. They don't chase approval through endless chatter. Instead, they create moments of anticipation that draw people in like a magnet. This principle operates on a fundamental level of human psychology. When we encounter uncertainty or unexpected silence, our attention immediately focuses on the source. It's an evolutionary response that kept our ancestors alive, and it still influences how we perceive authority and competence today. Let me share the exact technique that will revolutionize your interactions starting today. When someone asks you a question, instead of immediately responding, pause for 2 full seconds. I know this might feel uncomfortable at first, but this discomfort is actually working in your favor. During those 2 seconds, something fascinating happens in the other person's mind. Their brain interprets your pause as confidence. They assume you're carefully considering your response rather than blurting out the first thing that comes to mind. This creates an unconscious respect for your thoughtfulness and self-control. Meanwhile, you're gathering your thoughts and preparing to deliver a more impactful response. But the pause is only half the equation. When you do speak, do it slowly and deliberately. Fast talkers are often perceived as nervous, insecure, or trying too hard to impress. Slow, measured speech signals that you're comfortable with yourself and confident in your ideas. You're not rushing because you don't fear being interrupted or ignored. This technique works because it taps into primal social dynamics. In nature, the most dominant animals rarely need to make noise to establish their position. The lion doesn't roar constantly to prove its strength. The alpha in any pack doesn't announce its status through excessive vocalization. True power is quiet, controlled, and strategic. When you implement this approach, you'll notice immediate changes in how people respond to you. They'll lean in when you speak. They'll listen more attentively to your words. They'll give you space to finish your thoughts without interruption. These subtle shifts indicate that you've elevated your perceived status in their minds. Here's a practical exercise to start implementing this today. In your next 3 conversations, consciously slow down your speech by 20%. Before answering any direct question, count to 2 in your head. Notice how this affects both your own confidence and the other person's engagement level. The psychological principle behind this technique is called the scarcity effect. When something becomes less available, we automatically assign it higher value. By speaking less frequently but with greater intention, your words become a scarce resource that people pay attention to. You're essentially training others to value your input by making it less abundant. This doesn't mean becoming completely silent or antisocial. It means being strategic about when and how you contribute to conversations. Quality over quantity becomes your guiding principle. Every word should serve a purpose, whether that's providing valuable information, asking an insightful question, or making a meaningful connection. Many people resist this approach because they fear being seen as boring or disengaged. But the opposite is true. When you speak less but with greater impact, people become more curious about your thoughts and opinions. They start asking for your input rather than waiting for you to offer it unsolicited. This technique is particularly powerful in professional settings. During meetings, instead of feeling pressured to contribute constantly, wait for moments when your input will have maximum impact. When you do speak, your colleagues will listen more carefully because they know you don't waste words on meaningless chatter. The same principle applies to social situations. Rather than trying to entertain everyone with constant stories and jokes, become the person who makes thoughtful observations and asks engaging questions. People will start gravitating toward you because conversations with you feel more meaningful and substantial. One crucial element is maintaining strong eye contact during your pauses. This prevents the silence from feeling awkward or uncertain. Instead, it communicates that you're fully present and considering your response carefully. Your body language should remain relaxed and confident, signaling that you're comfortable with the temporary quiet. Practice this technique starting with low-stakes conversations. Try it with family members, friends, or casual acquaintances before implementing it in important professional or social situations. This allows you to build confidence and refine your approach without risking significant relationships or opportunities. Remember, this transformation won't happen overnight, but the effects will be noticeable from your very first attempt. People will unconsciously adjust their behavior to match your newfound authority. They'll speak more thoughtfully around you, seek your opinions more frequently, and treat your words with greater respect. The ultimate goal isn't to manipulate others, but to communicate your genuine value more effectively. When you slow down and speak less, you're creating space for your authentic self to shine through, rather than hiding behind nervous chatter or defensive explanations. Try this approach in your next conversation and pay attention to the subtle changes in how people respond to you. You might be surprised by how much respect you can command simply by mastering the power of strategic silence. If you found value in this video, please like and subscribe to our channel.